welcome back once again Dr. Sarah Crawford, a professor in the Department of Biology at Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven. Dr. Crawford, Paul again here. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm good, Dr. Crawford, and boy, we went from like 0 to 100 on this one in about 3 or 4 days. What are your initial thoughts when you first saw word, doctor, of this variant, and is this surprising or not?
Well, I'm not surprised. I think the last time we spoke, I talked to you about the way I felt that we are really a global community, and I mean that in terms of health, and the fact that we're all human, all around the planet. We have the same vulnerabilities, despite our differences in culture and politics and everything else. So yes, what's happening in South Africa and in Africa or India or wherever is going to affect us when it comes to the pandemic. So I'm not surprised. I am happy that there's so much monitoring going on among scientists around the world to check out the sequence of viruses in infected people. They picked this up very early, so that's a good thing.
So again, something like this, doctor, get into that a little bit. So this is detected when enough scientists doing enough screening say, this is now different from what we've been seeing. Is that how it is?
That's how it is. There's a scientific community where virologists basically volunteer to be part of this group that randomly sequences the virus from infected people. And this virus turned up a couple of times about 2 weeks ago or sooner. And it started to strike the alarm bells. And then when they started to look among patients in South Africa who had COVID, they found that there was this tremendous jump in infection from about 3%, and 2 weeks later to about 75% of people infected with COVID had this new Omicron variant. So this really set off the alarm bells worldwide.
All right, fascinating stuff. Dr. Crawford, hang on. We'll be right back with you. More with Professor of the Department of Biology, Dr. Sarah Crawford, Southern Connecticut State University. We'll get a little more into this Omicron variant. First, though, traffic and weather together right here on the 6's 436 on a Monday on Connecticut Today.
WYCC 600 right now traffic.
95 northbound. Delays are coming in from exit 3 all the way to Darien. Some southbound volume, Norwalk into it. And then northbound continues on Saugatuck right out to about Fairfield, Bridgeport. You're looking pretty good right now in Milford. Both sides, even with the volume, it seems to be steady at speed limit. Over on the Parkway from exit 29, right up through Trumbull and over the Sikorsky Bridge. Much easier on the Wolf Cross, southbound dropping speed into the tunnel. Route 8 northbound, you're good. 25 heavier, 111, 136. You're busier at Old Reading Road, moving out to about 58. Now, Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. It's amazing because Discover's accepted at 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply. Kelly Quinn, that's your Right Now traffic update.
Clouds thin out and cold tonight, low to mid-20s, and clouds move back in tomorrow towards 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow night around 30. Wednesday mostly sunny and seasonable middle 40s. Rain showers Thursday, a milder day near 50. Friday mostly sunny middle 40s. Then Saturday partly sunny, again mid-40s. Weather every 10 minutes on Connecticut Today.
The Linden at Brookfield is opening this winter. We're bringing a whole lot of services, including independent living, assisted living, and memory care. A whole lot of comfort with spacious apartments. A whole lot of activities from art to exercise classes. And of course, a whole lot of safety. Not just meeting, but exceeding CDC recommendations for health and socializing. With rent starting from $4,600. Visit our website, thelindenatbrookfield.com, today to learn why a whole lot of heart is our most popular service.
Hi, honey. Just checking in for my trip. How's everything on the home front?
John, a big storm just hit us. The power's out, and we have no heat or running water. I can't make the kids dinner without power, and they aren't able to get their homework done with no internet.
Don't get into a situation like this. Extreme weather and grid outages are becoming more and more common. You need to protect your family and your home from power outages. You need a Kohler backup generator that automatically kicks on when the power goes out. Just call 800-340-6716 for a free quote and $250 in savings. Unlike portable models, Kohler backup generators offer seamless, hands-off operation without the need to refuel. They automatically power your entire home, hassle-free. And with Kohler, you know you can trust this generator when you need it. Don't wait until it's too late and severe weather hits. Call 800-340-6716 for a free quote and get $250 in savings for your Kohler backup generator. You can't afford not to call. 800-340-6716. That's 800-340-6716. 800-340-6716.
It's the once-a-year holiday sales and trade-in event at Milford Photo. Come meet the top vendor reps from Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Tamron, and Sigma at the store on December 3rd and 4th from 10 to 5. This is the perfect time to learn about the newest technology from each of the brand experts. It's also that time of year to trade in and trade up, cameras, lenses, and more, while you take advantage of one of the best times of the year to get your new camera and accessories. Milford Photo, December 3rd and 4th, downtown Milford.
If Bridgeport's talking about it, so is Paul. Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600.
440, we're talking more about the Omicron COVID variant with Dr. Sarah Crawford, professor in the Department of Biology at Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven. So, Dr. Crawford, I was poking around before I came on the air today, looking and listening to some interviews posted with some experts like yourself all over the web, and two interesting timelines. One doctor, one expert said, probably about 2 weeks or so more of testing before we have more definite ideas about this variant, number one. And then there was another expert who said to modify the current vaccines safely, they said that's about a 100-day process. Do those timelines sound about right for you?
They absolutely do. I think right now, the basic information that we have is the preliminary data coming out of South Africa, as well as the fact that it has spread significantly around the world in a very short period of time, and also the sequence data. So we can kind of map out where these mutations have happened and what they would be predicted to do in terms of the ability of the virus to spread and cause disease. As far as dealing with it, we have to see how it spreads and get the clinical data. And then in terms of a vaccine that would be modified specifically to attack this virus, it would take about 3 months to get that result. But we can make some fairly reasonable predictions based on what we know on the DNA.
And this is why the mRNA sequencing is so critical here?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the virus genome, the RNA genome, can be sequenced very, very quickly, and that's been done. And what they have found is that there are a number of mutations that specifically affect the ability of the virus to bind to its receptor when it infects cells. So that means that it can get in better. And once it gets inside the cell, there are some changes in a protein called, a gene called the nucleocapsid gene, which helps it replicate itself better. There are mutations that seem to perhaps interfere. It's in an open reading frame that may interfere with the ability of the innate immune system to respond to the virus. And there are also mutations in the spike protein, which might make the antibody response not as strong as it was against previous isolates. So that's our preliminary guesswork going in based upon the sequencing of the viral genome. And from here, we have to see how that plays out with respect to the clinical course of infection in patients worldwide.
You know, you and I, Dr. Crawford, have talked about this aspect of it in the past, where as to why mutations happen. And, you know, most organisms on this level, viruses, they do mutate. So it's interesting. I'm seeing two things, again, over the weekend, just being knee-deep in this. You have some experts who say, well, mutations happen in people that are not vaccinated and don't have a herd immunity. And then there's some people who say, well, mutations also can happen because people are vaccinated and the virus has a natural kind of defense or survival mechanism. Are those accurate?
Absolutely. I think one of the key questions here is, how did this happen? Can we retrace the genetic steps to figure out what exactly allowed this to happen? Now, clearly, only 24% of the South African population is fully vaccinated. So there's an opportunity for infection. Now, how did this happen? Did it happen in an immunocompromised individual who didn't mount a response strongly enough to the virus that allowed the virus to mutate? I mean, there's a lot to figure out here because there's a lot of mutations going on. So this may have happened over time. And once it happened, once you generated this mutant species, so to speak, selected for it, the virus selects for the ability to infect quickly, and to spread quickly. Those are its adaptation cues. So it happened within either immunocompromised individuals or people who were non-vaccinated, or maybe even contributed by breakthrough infections, because it seems to have maybe a little bit of ability to escape the normal immune evasion mechanisms, which is what makes it more worrisome. So we don't know. We just know that the virus can spread, and where we have susceptible people, you have the vessel for mixing and spreading that's going to keep on going until, as a world community, we take hold of this and get vaccinated and do everything proactively to prevent this from continuing to occur.
The stuff, Dr. Crawford, that you just mentioned, figuring out how and why this happens, is this the kind of stuff that keeps people in your field up at night, that prevents you from sleeping, going, okay, when is this going to end? How does it end? It's kind of worrisome, I think, to the average person, is it not?
Well, it is. I mean, I think the good news is, and we need to focus on the good news, the virus is not going to mutate to become more threatening in terms of destroying the host, because that's not a selective advantage for the virus. So I think right now what you're seeing is a change that's allowing the virus to spread even better than the Delta, and maybe infect people that the Delta wasn't as able to infect. But I think in terms of disease severity, we probably won't see a difference. And because of modern technology and advances in science, we're able to keep up with this virus, which is truly an incredible and impressive record. So we as a human race need to be proud of ourselves and keep fighting. And I think we will definitely be winners in the end.
Once again, Dr. Sarah Crawford, professor in the Department of Biology at Southern Connecticut State University. Dr. Crawford, again, as always, thank you for putting it in plain English so folks like me can understand it. We thank you, and we'll chat down the road. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Paul.
All right, bye-bye. Dr. Sarah Crawford,